So here we are. We've looked at the 5 essential functions of the church. We've looked at worship and prayer, evangelism, fellowship, discipleship, and then deployment into service. But there's a 6th auxiliary function that we must consider. It's really essential for all of the other functions to function properly, and that is this whole area of administration and support. And in many churches, it's this area that requires most of the resourcing. And I'll explain what I'm talking about here. When we talk about administration and support, that includes things such as the building, the property. It includes the people that it takes to maintain that building, maintain the grounds. It includes office personnel, that administrative support team. It includes the boards and the committees and all of those entities that keep things running behind the scenes. Well, it's important in order for the administration and the support teams of the church to function in keeping with this whole model. It's important for them to establish an understanding that the administrative and support functions serve the other 5 functions. Okay? Administration and support is not there to serve itself. Administration and support is there to make sure that the 5 essential functions are functioning, that they are funded, that they are staffed, that room is made for those 5 essential functions to function. For this all to work properly, as I said, we need to establish an understanding that the administration and support teams serve the other functions. The second thing we need to establish, or rather celebrate, is we need to celebrate those who faithfully serve in administration and support, just as much as we would celebrate those who serve in worship and prayer, evangelism, fellowship, discipleship, or deployment into service, okay? Because, as I said, without people functioning in this capacity, we wouldn't get a lot done, okay? I want to talk just a little bit about how we're going to assess this area, and this is very similar to how we have assessed the other functions. As we talk about this auxiliary function of administration and support, do we understand the importance of this function? Do we understand the importance of administration, the importance of support? I believe that God has gifted individuals with gifts of administration to really help this area, this auxiliary function, to operate as it should. Secondly, how are we stewarding our time as it relates to administration and support? All right. I think that our priority still needs to be those other 5 functions, but still there's got to be some time given to give attention to administration and to the support teams. How are we stewarding talent, the giftedness of people? There's some people really gifted in administration. There's gifted people that are gifted with money. Put them into this administrative team, okay? I think far too often we have put people that maybe are gifted in maybe the preaching or teaching or some area like that. We then plug them into working with finances, where maybe somebody else in the body is really a good accountant, very good with numbers, all right? That's just an example. So how are we stewarding the talent in the church for this auxiliary function of administration and support? How are we stewarding our treasure for this function? Again, most of our resources need to go, I believe, toward the 5 essential functions. At least we should be aiming that direction, but I do understand sometimes due to an indebtedness that's on a church, on their mortgage, for their properties and all of that, sometimes a large chunk of it has to go into this more of this supportive realm. are those who are serving in this function, honoring the essential role of the other functions. And I think that it is especially important for those that are preparing budgets, and preparing a lot of the logistical, administrative things behind the scenes, to remind themselves that they're there to honor the role of those who are in worship and prayer, honor the role of those involved with evangelism, honor the role of those involved with the fellowship and pastoral care ministries, honor those who are involved in discipleship and deployment into service. After all, if it wasn't for those 5 essential functions, there'd be no need to even have an administrative team. All right? So there needs to be an honoring of the other functions of the church. And what kind of creative strategies can we in our church implement for this function within the next 30 days? Be thinking about that. Get together with your group there and be thinking, how can we take what we're already doing in the area of administration and support and incorporate the 5 essential function model into the way that we're going about what we're doing in administration and in support. Now, let me just give an example. What you've learned already about the 5 essential functions of the church, that does need to play into how you are budgeting the money of the church. It does need to play into how you're allotting space in your physical facility. Do you have actual physical space in your church facility that is serving the needs of worship and prayer, serving the needs of evangelism, serving the needs of discipleship and fellowship, and all these other areas of service? Okay, can you see? So the work of this administrative team, start strategizing on what you can do in the next 30 days to upgrade, to incorporate a vision for the 5 essential functions.